HOA sent police to evict me. They didn't know my brother is the county sheriff. The sun beat down on the cracked earth of my front yard, where I stood clutching a suitcase that held the last scraps of my life. My name's Clara, and this old farmhouse me home for 30 years was under siege. The Karen flowers, those garish purple blooms I'd planted along the fence, had ignited a war with the HOA. They claimed the flowers violated their aesthetic standards. I called it petty tyranny. Now, 3 police officers stood on my porch, eviction notice in hand, their faces carved from stone. "Ma'am, you need to vacate now," one barked, his hand resting on his belt. My heart pounded, but I wasn't budging. Not yet. Started 6 months ago. The HOA, led by Marianne, a woman with a smile as sharp as a razor, sent me a letter demanding I rip out the flowers. They were my mother's favorite, planted in her memory after she passed. I ignored the letter. Then came the fines, the threats, the whispers at community meetings. Marianne painted me as a rebel, a stain on their perfect suburb. I'm no saint, but I'm no villain either. I just wanted to keep something of Mom alive. When I refused to comply, the HOA escalated, dragging the county into their vendetta. They didn't know my brother, Tom, was the county sheriff. The lead officer, a burly man named Daniels, stepped closer, his boots crunching on the gravel. "Clara, don't make this harder than it needs to be." His voice was calm but laced with menace. Behind him, his partners shifted, hands twitching near their radios. My neighbors, gathered across the street, watched like vultures. Marianne stood among them, arms crossed, her lips curled in triumph. I wanted to scream, to tell them this wasn't just about flowers, it was about control, about erasing what made this place mine. I tightened my grip on the suitcase. "This is my home," I said, voice shaking. "You can't just throw me out because of some plants." Daniel sighed, pulling out handcuffs. The air grew thick, the tension coiling like a spring. My chest tightened. I wasn't young, and the stress was clawing at my heart. But I stood taller, defiance burning through the fear. Then, a low rumble cut through the silence. A pickup truck tore down the road, dust billowing in its wake. It skidded to a stop, and out stepped Tom, his sheriff's badge glinting in the sunlight. His face was thunder, eyes locked on Daniel's. The crowd gasped. Marianne's smirk vanished. "What the hell's going on here?" Tom growled, striding toward us. The officers froze, their confidence crumbling. Daniel stammered, "Sheriff, we're just enforcing an eviction order." "Eviction?" Tom's voice was a blade. "For my sister? Over flowers?" He snatched the notice from Daniel's hand, scanning it with disgust. "This is nonsense. You're on my family's land, harassing my blood." The officers exchanged uneasy glances. Marianne pushed through the crowd, her voice shrill. "Sheriff, she's breaking HOA rules. We have rights." Tom turned, his glare silencing her. "Your rights don't trump hers," he snapped. For a moment, I thought it was over. Tom's authority would save me. But then, a new figure emerged from the crowd, a man I hadn't seen in years. Uncle Ray, Mom's estranged brother, limped forward, his face weathered but fierce. "Clara's not the problem," he said, voice gravelly. "This land's deed is in my name, too. Mom left it to both of us." The twist hit like a punch. I'd forgotten Ray's claim, buried in old family disputes. He'd been gone so long, I assumed he didn't care. Now he was here, complicating everything. Ray faced Tom. "I sold my share to the HOA last week. Didn't know they'd pull this." My stomach dropped. The HOA had a legal foothold now, and Tom's badge couldn't undo a sale. Marianne's eyes gleamed with renewed venom. "See? It's legal. She's out." Tom's jaw clenched, but he had no counter. The law, twisted by petty power, had won. The officers moved again, gentler but firm. "Clara, let's go," Daniel said. My knees buckled. Tom caught my arm, his face a mask of guilt. Ray looked away, tears in his eyes. I was losing everything: Mom's memory, my home, my fight. As they led me to the squad car, the Karen flowers swayed in the breeze, mocking me. I'd fought for them, for her, and it wasn't enough. They drove me to a motel on the edge of town. Tom promised to fix this, but his voice was hollow. Ray's betrayal, unintentional or not, had sealed my fate. The HOA's victory wasn't just about flowers. It was about power, about crushing anyone who dared defy their rules. I sat on the motel bed, staring at Mom's old photo, wondering where I'd gone wrong. The next day, word spread. Neighbors whispered about justice, about whether I deserved this. Some saw me as a victim, others a troublemaker. The Karen flowers became a symbol. Some called them rebellion, others chaos. I didn't care anymore. I'd lost too much. What do you think? Was I wrong to fight, or was the HOA's crusade unjust? Share your thoughts on where justice lies in this mess.